ego death. What a topic this is. I'm excited to speak about this today, Earth Ones. My experience with ego death has been very, I'd safe to say, I think in the human experience, ego death has got to be the most excruciating, most difficult experience a human can have here on Earth, my belief. Because you're experiencing death here on Earth. So you do not die when you leave the body, for then you are born. You die here on Earth. Death is symbolic for the experiences of the ego, dying time and time again. And I'm going to start on the first time I experienced ego death. And it was I had a very, very high dose of LSD. So it's a funny story. I was in the club with my mates and we was out raving, and we got this acid tab off this hippie guy. He looked like a little dodgy fucker anyways, you know, like proper little seedy little hippie guy. Never trust a hippie in a club, word of advice. But yeah, we've got this tab off him. I don't even know, it must have been super strong. Anyway, we've been in the club. I've been having the time of my life in this club. It's like, I don't know where he's from, but this was in Manchester, and we were on to Curry Mile, and it was Eid, so it was like Istanbul. Like, it was just madness. Everyone, cars beeping at each other, everyone just like on a mad one. And obviously that energy, I'm going to prop down here, that energy, when you're on, if you've ever taken any sort of psychedelics, everything is just amplified to the max. So that energy like completely threw me off. I was like, whoa, what is going on? Anyway, that little shift happened, and then I got in the taxi on the way home. There were 2 or 3 of us that had these tabs, and we all got dropped off. So bear in mind, we've had this tab probably about 9-10 o'clock at night, and we got dropped off at home probably like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So probably not even that, probably like 1-2 o'clock in the morning anyway. So I was still in the like deep state of this trip. This tab was super strong. I don't know what this hippie laced it with, but anyway, we've all been dropped off, so I've walked home. It was like a mad little walk home. I'm tripping bollocks on the way home. Got into my house. It started getting heavier and heavier and heavier. I'm walking up my stairs and everything's just like falling apart. And I'm like sat in my bedroom. I'm trying to like ground my thoughts, ground my energy. These things can last like anywhere from 12 to 16 to 18 hours. Obviously unbeknown to me, because I've had the last experience I had before that with nothing but like, wow, it was just like peacocks in the trees, and like it was an amazing experience. So I thought I was going to get that again. Thought that was going to be reciprocated. And I got home and I started going under a little bit. So I got this girl around. I was like, yeah, I've been chatting to this girl at the time. So I got around. I started trying to like make love to this girl, and she just felt like this pillow. I was like, whoa, like everything was just, yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't happening anyway. So she was like a bit creeped out by how fucked I was and what I was doing. Poor girl. And anyway, she's ended up having to get kicked out of the house. I've had to like just get her to leave because I was too off it. And after that, I just started going under and under and under and under, and it was like, the way I experienced it, all the minute problems in my life and the things that I was struggling with at the time got amplified 555,000, and it brought me to my knees. I was crying for 12 hours straight, sobbing like a little girl on my mummy's lap for 12 hours straight. And the most scariest, most terrifying bit, this has happened to me a few times in my life, but the most terrifying part of it is I thought I was trapped. I thought I was stuck this way. I thought I have gone psycho and there is no return. How I am feeling right now, this is going to be my fixed state forever. I thought there's no coming back from this. I thought I'm stuck. Oh, I've cracked. And that was the scary part. It wasn't necessarily the emotions and the problems. It was more so the fact that I believed in my mind that I had gone too far. I was schizophrenic and I've lost my mind. And this went on for 18 hours in total, but it was like 12 to 16 hours where I was on a bad trip. And yeah, that was like, it was the most excruciating, one of the most painful experiences of my life. But then I remember the wave of relief I had after that experience. I felt like I was 20 kilos lighter. I felt like all this weight that I'd shed and all these things that I was carrying, these problems that I had, they now dissolved. I woke up in the morning, it's like, oh, like, this is mad. And it was like new energy I had to navigate. And I didn't know I had an ego death at the time, not until obviously I went deeper on my spiritual journey and path to understand that was the experience that I had. But that was my first encounter. I think I've had 3 or 4. I've had loads of mini ones, but like the ones that boom blew my head off, I've had 3 or 4 proper big ones. I'm gonna get into the second one now. So the second one, this is a similar experience. This is years apart, and this was off a site. I was on the mushrooms this time. A lot of them have been triggered from psychedelics, and I was taking other drugs at the time. I was mixing the drugs once again, just getting a bit too big for my boots. And I fell into this, like, I was in this euphoric state, and I was like bliss and oneness and peace and love and serenity. I had Bob Marley on, and I just had this trip and been up in nature. We'd come back to my house, me and my friend was like, yeah, you know, like love, peace, yeah, all that. And then I just started going, once again, the table just turned, and I'm like, whoa, what is going on? And this one was visual as well as emotional. The last one was like mental and emotional. This one was visual as well. I felt like I'd never ever be able to explain the experience in words, but it was like I were in a 2-dimensional reality. Can you see how this is 3D? It was like everything was 2D, so everything was flat and like closed in, like I was in this prison, and I couldn't, every time I moved, something moved, like I was stuck in this little prison, and I had to like move out these, it was scary. And I'm gonna walk because I'm getting stiff. I believed in my mind I was stuck again in this. I've gone too far because I was taking other drugs. I thought, I've took the piss again. I've gone too far. I'm stuck in this reality. I thought, I am now stuck in this land, in this like virtual land, and I was in excruciating pain again. I was suffering deeply emotionally, thinking I was trapped, thinking I've gone psycho, and I was literally on my hands and knees. I just don't know why I did this, but I stripped myself bollock naked, like literally butt naked, and I was propped in the fetal position on my bedroom floor whilst my dog's licking my head, sobbing like a little girl, like sobbing on my hands and knees, just asking please, begging. And I ended up ringing my mum. My friend had left at this point. He had to go to work, so I was in the house on my own, and I ended up having to ring my mum. She was away, and I was like, oh, mum, something's gone on, something's fucked up, you're gonna have to help me. And she's obviously trying to ground me and speak me down. She's like to say, do things in the house, but I connected to so many different parts of myself through that experience, through going to the pits of hell. It's always been through the pits of hell. You have to go, you have to die, you have to you have to go to hell. That's the only way. But yeah, it was through that experience and the relief you get after that experience, because it is so excruciatingly painful and it is so difficult to experience. You're like, when you're alive again, you're so grateful. The overwhelming gratitude I felt when I finally started to come round and ground myself back into the reality, I was like, oh my, thank God. And I haven't actually took mushrooms. I haven't had a psychedelic dose since then. I've been scared, to be honest with you. I've had a couple microdoses, but I haven't touched them since. Well, number one, I've not actually needed to. I mean, since then, that triggered an initiation to go deeper into my spiritual journey. And I wasn't the same person after that. One thing I'm going to add though, is you need to be really, really careful with psychedelics. And the reason why you need to be really careful is because if you have a hero dose or you have an ego death and your body isn't regulated enough, so your vessel isn't calibrated and isn't able to handle that level of ego death or intensity or experience, you are going to fall into what they call spiritual psychosis. And this is what I experienced after that second experience I've just explained. Because I didn't have the nervous system to ground the experience in and process the experience, I then went into a state of spiritual psychosis. For like 2-3 weeks, my head was gone. Like, I was paranoid. I thought everyone was like working against me. I thought everyone was like trying to get me. I ended up going out on a night out and trying to preach this truth to people and trying to wake people up, and I ended up getting jumped off like 10 lads in someone's house party at some garden because I'm trying to tell the owner of the house of why he's working for the devil and why what he's doing is wrong. To be honest, I've come in their house trying to tell them what they're doing is wrong and what I'm doing is right. But I was in this state of spiritual psychosis. My head was just completely in the clouds. It was mashed from this experience because I've not had the nervous system to regulate the intensity, because it would happen, it'd be ripped from my body, and I wasn't expecting the experience. I mean, you can never expect an ego death, it comes to you, but yeah, you've got to be really, really careful with psychedelics and have it in a safe environment, and make sure that, once again, you're not doing it like I did. So that's the two experiences. And then I've had drug-induced psychosis a few times as well in the past, like where I've gone completely cracked. I've took it too far. That is the most terrifying experience I've ever had here on earth. That there's nothing actually comes close to how scared you feel in that moment. Like, physical pain is nothing on the mental torture you can put yourself through. But it also brings you to your knees and roots you deeper into your faith, and gives you a deeper sense of gratitude for being alive and being able to experience this here on earth. And I'm going to quickly try now. We're coming into 12 minutes. I'm going to try and get you through to the final one now, the final initiation. This one was actually the most cleanest, purest one I've experienced, the one that I've most recently experienced. And this is through initiation through a woman. So you could say it was karmic, destiny, divine, however you want to say it. It's been framed and experienced, but you could call it a divine mirror, the initiation of her mirroring parts of myself back to me. And it was like an inner remembrance, an inner knowing of my divine nature, and that's awakened me to spirit. I believe I don't actually need any more after this. I mean, what else can, if there's more layers to come, bring it on, baby, I'm ready. But yeah, that was more of like an inner remembrance. And because this time round I've had, my nervous system's been regulated, I've been in a much better place, I'm clean, I'm sober, I'm off the drugs. This way it's flowed, it's been pure. I've been allowed myself to ground into the energy, to process the emotions, to integrate the experience, rather than it just be complete chaos, destruction, and then me losing my mind for a few weeks and then trying to comprehend what the hell's just gone on. So how this is going to happen, how these ego death experiences happen, is completely out of your control. You cannot control that. But what you can control is having the awareness and understanding of what is happening when it's happening. This will save you hours, weeks, months of torture, because if you're trying to fight it, that's where the suffering comes in, that's where the pain comes in, when you're trying to resist and fight the process. This needs to happen naturally, this process of unfolding. You need to die to be reborn. It is part of human evolution. And if you try and resist and fight that process, you're fighting against nature. You're going to have some resistance, you're going to have some friction, it's going to be pain, it's going to be suffering. I mean, it's pain and suffering regardless, but this experience, this time round, it's been way more graceful, way more peaceful. I've been able to sit in the emotions, I've been able to flow with the movement and go with wherever God wants to take me. It's not been forced, I've not been trying to fight or resist it. Creme de la creme of ego deaths, this one. I mean, I don't know what's yet to come, but you've got to take time to ground yourself in this energy and step into this new sense of knowing and understanding. So yeah, that's my experience on ego deaths. A few little fruity stories in there. I'm going to go into a little bit more depth on this topic because I fucking love it. I think it's brilliant. But yeah, I'm going to cut it short at 15 minutes because I don't want to keep you for too long. So peace out, Earth Ones. Love.